List.io.
All right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. Maybe you noticed the new song.
Pretty catchy. I kind of like it. Let's see how long Spotify lets us use this one.
Well, at least maybe 19 seconds. We'll see. But
I have
yeah.
no idea what's going on with that. I mean, I don't know if they're just cracking down or people are really looking to. I don't know. I don't understand. But you have it listed under royalty-free music. You should expect to be able to use it. So
Yeah,
I'm confused.
that was our impression. But I don't know. Maybe we're just picking too many hits that people are going to turn into big money now. But I don't think.
Yeah.
I really don't think those 18 seconds are really bothering anybody. But hey, if it's a reason to take our stuff down, then they're going to do it. So, but we're back.
We're back.
18 seconds later. Who cares?
Here we go.
Anyway, how's your day going so far?
So far, so good. Just another day of grift and blatant disregard for any kind of law and order in this country, any kind of justice or fairness. But there are some elections going on around the country that may have some pretty long-lasting and deeply felt results. So we'll see how that goes, especially the Supreme Court race in Pennsylvania. So we'll see. And Dick Cheney has gone to wherever people like Dick Cheney go after they pass.
Well, I think we all have a pretty good idea where that is. I didn't know you were going to start with Dick Cheney, but got to put up a photo of Dick because maybe some people don't remember his chagrin.
Yeah, it's just
There he is.
It's crazy that as in this past under this past regime, he's more of an ally than an enabler of Trump. I mean, not even Dick Cheney went this far.
Yeah, he did a lot of terrible things, and he enabled a very costly war where Halliburton made a ton of money that he happened to be part of, but he wasn't trying to take away elections and halt a democracy, so to speak.
Yeah,
Sure.
So
He shot this guy in the face. Okay, it happened. It was an accident.
it happens.
Who doesn't shoot people in the face on occasion? But
Yeah. I could say something about facials, but I'm not going there.
thank you for that. I realized once it came out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Dick Cheney's gone. I don't think anybody's missing him. And in the end, they disparaged him as well because Trump knocks everybody down who has been more successful than him. That guy clearly was successful in politics. He was successful in business, even though it wasn't always done above board.
Almost never.
And here we are. It's just kind of crazy.
It is. I mean, these people would say that Reagan was a commie liberal.
They wouldn't even like Christ. I think we've talked about that before as well.
Not the actual version. They love the version that they've created. But yeah, from my understanding, and I'm not a biblical scholar, but my understanding of what Christ was espousing is very far from the messaging they've embraced. So yeah,
it's true. To the point in the bizarre world where Marjorie Taylor Greene was on The View. It was a bit of a love fest, which would have been hard to believe. She got the crowd going by calling Mike Johnson weak and pathetic.
She's not wrong.
I can't say she's wrong. Yeah, and she even rejected the premise of let's put up that great Trump throws a mighty fine bash. And the Gatsby one was really tone deaf, as we've talked about.
Oh my God, just insulting.
Here he is holding court. He should be popping up here in a minute. Very slowly. Holding court at the table. That's Rubio. Next to him, you can't really see. He's probably saying something derogatory about little Marco.
Probably.
But, yeah, this themed party, pretty amazing. I mean, look at that. Very lavish. I saw women in martini glass. It was pretty impressive. These outfits can't be beat. There was rumors that I think it was $100,000 a plate to get there. The person with her back to you right there is Winebox Judge Giannini Perino, and the state prisoner, which seems like the most fitting costume to have there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but good times. A lot of people were certainly upset by that. Of course, AK Caroline doesn't want to hear anything about it. She feels like it's his ritual. He always has a Halloween party. Hey, oh, hey. Meanwhile, we're tied for the longest shutdown we've ever had. I think we're on the 35th day.
Yeah,
And,
SNAP benefits have been cut off, and they're completely apparently willing to disregard the court order to continue them. But yeah, let's throw a lavish bash. It's like, did FDR go ahead with the Christmas party after Pearl Harbor? I don't think so. I mean, just fucking tone deaf and in your face, and it's insulting. It really is. It tells you everything you need to know about this regime and the people that are running it and profiting from it. I mean, and I don't know if they only, if Trump still thinks that the shutdown and the cutoff of SNAP benefits is only going to affect them liberals and colored people, but you got a lot of red hat wearing white people that are depending on those too.
yeah, and
And
there
they're not
was,
going to be happy.
and to your point, they were supposed to partially fund it. Well, they were supposed to fully fund it, but Trump's willing to partially fund it. I'm not really sure how they're going to do that.
Only in
but,
red states, I believe. Yeah.
Well, partially funding is not going to get it to everybody. We talked about this the other day. The majority of people that are on SNAP are white Americans. It has nothing to do with blacks and Hispanics being the majority are white people. The 10 states with the highest reliance on SNAP, one of them is blue. New Mexico is 21%. But the rest of them, Louisiana, 18%, Oklahoma, 17%, Alabama, 15%, West Virginia, 15%, Mississippi, Kentucky, Arkansas, all are red states, obviously. So
yeah. Funded by taxes paid by blue states.
Yeah. So the average American pays in about $36 into this SNAP, essentially. I'm willing to pay that $36.
Yeah.
But the average American taxpayer spends $670 a year on corporate subsidies.
Quite the contrast there.
Yeah, doesn't really jive. I don't think people would be okay with that either, but we shall see.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the New York race for New York City mayor.
Mhm.
And I've read a couple of articles that Mondami has kind of moved a little bit more to the center, tacked a little bit more. But nonetheless, I mean, his message is quite clear that, the rent is too high and that the city is becoming unlivable. And I still really think, I don't care what the boomer and Gen X Democratic leadership has to say. I really think that message resonates. And I think that it's time for them to embrace it and get their shit together. So this might be a good bellwether for, how the Democratic Party should succeed if he can manage to win, which I don't know what the polls look like today. But they were looking pretty favorable leading up to this. So I guess we'll see.
The odds are pretty good for him. Anything that you and I hear outside of actually talking to somebody is just kind of fed to you through the media. I saw all kinds of things. Oh, he's stumbling, and oh, this came out or that came out. And, the bottom line is last night, the GOP went through all their stars. Trump backed Cuomo, and that was followed up by Stephen Miller. And the list went on of his cabinet supporting this guy.
New York City hates Trump, so maybe not endorsing him. Maybe endorsing Mondami would have gone further. He is not.
Well, and they feel like everybody's going to leave New York if this communist, socialist, Marxist wins. Everybody will leave. So Bassett wants to cut funding to New York because why should we fund a population to a state where people are leaving? we should give it to Florida.
Well, the people we care about are leaving. And really, are they going to leave? Because it's a pain in the ass to leave, even if you're a billionaire. It's a giant pain in the ass. It's like every presidential election, when your candidate doesn't win, you say, well, I'm leaving the country. But how many people actually do?
Yeah, you're right about that. Not too many. The last thing on Snap I wanted to say was the Republicans keep saying now it takes 60 votes for them to bring Snap back. But it didn't take 60 votes when they wanted to give the $10 trillion tax cut to billionaires.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Yeah, it's just how they like to use politics. And then what you hear through the media, I mean, that whole thing on 60 Minutes ruined it for me.
Never again, man. They're done.
I don't think you can trust it. Trump went off on a tangent about how they had to pay him because they were so unfair to him. Da 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 da. They cut that part out. They cut his ramblings out where he just was incoherent to what the questions were. And the reason he got paid is because he said they doctored Kamala's answers 2 days before the election. Oh, she said this terrible thing, and they doctored it and took it out and changed it. And well, they're doing it for you. But he had nothing but nice things to say about that new woman who's running the news department at CBS. I mean,
oh yeah, Barry Weiss, who's not a journalist,
no,
and is just a right-wing hack. But just somebody else willing to bend the knee to Trump.
Sure. So you can knock that source off as far as getting any kind of comprehensive, impartial news. I mean, you can tune into Fox. It's just as easy. I guess CBS is going to become Fox Light.
Yeah, well, and if you want to, see what CBS News used to be, you can tune into, I'm sure you can stream it or watch it online somewhere. Good Night and Good Luck, the Edward R. Murrow movie, which shows what CBS used to stand for and what they used to be. And it's a far cry from this steaming pile of shit that they've become.
Yeah, it's just funny how it's a double standard. When she went on there, and I really don't believe that any of that actually happened, as far as changing questions and whatever, but it sounded good.
Well, it sounded good, and anything that pops into Trump's head must be true. It's like you're dealing with a demented toddler.
Yeah. He's having a great time, though, for the record. Trump is having a marvelous time at all of our expense.
Yeah. Draining this country.
It's just a lot. And perfect examples of that are just he took over the Kennedy Center for arts, and that's plummeted. Their sales are in the toilet. Nobody wants to go there. They can't bring in any talent. But maybe rename the Kennedy Center after your wife. I don't know. Interestingly enough, Melania is receiving the Fox Award for Patriot of the Year. Probably has something to do with those children that she saved from the Ukraine war, but I don't know. Could be wrong.
No, I think you're getting that confused with the Schindler's List.
Maybe.
I mean, you know what? Hey, look, she probably should get an award for putting up with that guy. I don't think she has to deal with him very often, but the time she does, I'm sure it's a harrowing experience. I'm sure he smells bad. I'm sure he's got those disgusting little chicken lips that he likes to try and peck at her with. I mean, yeah, you probably should get an award for having to deal with that guy on a close, intimate basis, which probably doesn't happen that rarely, I'm guessing.
Well, I hope she shares the award with fake Melania, because she really deserves it.
That's the one doing the heavy lifting.
I know. So true. Well, it's all about appearances. So if it kind of looks like Melania, I guess it's close enough for government work. I had a list of a couple things. I was going to put this up. I don't know where it's now going, but Caroline's back. She's starting to look she's dressing a little too old, I think, for this group.
Ooh,
we'll see how that goes off. I love to see the changes, but I only bring that up because she denied everything today. Partial snap, the MRI on Trump, perfectly normal. You guys see him every day. He's in amazing health. So terrific. But Caroline was caught photoshopping her husband.
Out of the picture?
Well, just youthing him a bit. because you can see here his face and hers. I think she was a little surprised by that shot. But then when you come up here, he's been doctored quite a bit. Make that hair a little bit, took out a few wrinkles. You know, the hand never lies.
Yeah, that is true.
But and listen, I'm not an ageist. I don't have an issue with that. But maybe she does if she's actually photoshopping him to more attractive. You got the wallet. Who cares what he looks like? Am I right?
Yeah, you got the bag. I'm surprised she didn't Photoshop Trump's head in there.
Ooh, hey now.
Her dream husband.
Well, it's kind of how I feel like if you saw her today, she's dressing like a 30-something woman. I don't think that's going to go over real big.
Not with that
We
crowd.
shall
That's
see.
sure. Yeah, it's just it's insane.
And as long as we're talking about that, Laura Loomer, who we talk about sometimes, she now has Pentagon credentials.
Are they doing another remake of The Purge? I mean, look at that face. Laura Loomer and Elmer Fudd. Oh my God.
We do have a before and after.
Jesus. Tell me how much you hate yourself without actually having to tell me that you hate yourself. That is just a completely different face.
Yeah, it's
Good
brutal.
Lord.
And certainly, you know, we don't get to choose our face, but we should probably be a little bit more accepting of ourselves. Maybe get a rhinoplast. I don't know if you don't like your nose, but this whole makeover thing, it's very
that looks hideous. And how much filler can you pump in there? And that doesn't stay up there forever. You got to keep pumping it in, and it starts to sag. And I don't know, but I'm sure there's somehow the American public and our tax dollars are paying for all of her plastic surgery.
Well, you're probably right about that. We'll just have to see. I want to put up Rand Paul real quick because we're going through all this financial duress. People are certainly feeling it. And I want to just talk about his plan on Social Security. Social Security, they want to raise the age to 70 before you can get your Amazes. So otherwise, they want to raise the Social Security tax 25% because right now you can collect 67. You can get it earlier. But if you're going to push it back to 70 years of age, the life expectancy in our country is 78. So you're saying pour all this cash in, work your tail off. Maybe if you're lucky, you get to enjoy 8 years in your retirement.
Maybe if you make it to 70, I'm wondering if the life expectancy is starting to decrease over the past year with this. Yeah. But, you know, it's interesting. You know, both our dad and our stepdad, when they passed, neither one of them got anything out. They, you know, worked their whole lives and paid into it. Got nothing.
Yeah. Well, and we were over 18 when our dad died. So, of course, you weren't going to get that money had you been under. Then
but as a widow, our mom should have, and she didn't either.
As a divorcee, though.
Well, but I mean, with our stepdad, I mean, benefits should have gone to her as his widow.
But. Well, you get the higher of the two. So yes, she ended up getting his, but then hers goes away. And again, you're right. All the money that you put in over decades, where does that go? Some people think the government's been grifting off you and probably taking it. But again,
they have. I mean, all those wars going, you know, the Iraq War that, you know, Dick Cheney was such a big architect of. That was a big fat IOU. We'll get you later.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they are getting us, but I just find that that's really rough. They want you to literally work till you're 70 just so you can have 8 years of retirement. I mean, I'm old, so I remember you turned 55, you bought your little shitty boat with an outboard motor, not a cigarette boat, not a yacht, not even a pontoon boat. Well, maybe if you were lucky and successful.
Maybe.
But you got your little boat. You didn't give a shit because you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be fishing, and I don't care. Now you're going to add 15 years to that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes no sense at all. But, and again, that's if your company decides to keep you till you're 70, which,
Yeah,
you know
if you
what,
have
I'm
a
pretty
job.
sure they won't.
It's a good point. You have to have a job. If you end up losing your job in your 50s, we already know, or close to 50, you're not likely to get another job. It's just not, you're just not hireable.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're not talented, but maybe your healthcare costs too much, or maybe we can just find somebody cheaper.
Well, and just, talking with some of the younger people looking for jobs that we know, I mean, they are looking for, they want, higher level experience, but they want to pay entry level wages, which is insane. Um, that's crazy.
You apparently got to know somebody if you want to have any kind of luck. Um, Based on that, I just wanted to bring up Argentina again because they're kind of our little project that we seem to really enjoy.
Yeah, because they've got their version
There's
of Trump. The Latin American version of Trump is running the show down there, and he's as nutty as this guy.
Yeah, let's pop him up. There's a melee. Nope.
Ah!
Sorry. There we go. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, this is he's kind of crazy, but what he did do, and he did win at the midterm because Trump said that they would take back that $40 billion with a B. But this guy took office, and he's a right-wing populist, much like Trump. I know we've talked about him. But
Mhm.
he brought inflation down from 200% to 30% annually, which seems great. But in the course of doing that, 2,000 formal jobs were lost, 18,000 businesses closed, household debt rose, buying power collapsed. So poverty rates are at more than 50%. This guy's having a great time. I'm not questioning that. But the people that have pensions, people that have pensions with disabilities, 6 million people aren't getting their benefits based on that. And what happens if you don't have prospects or money or savings? You end up homeless. I'm comparing this because we're in a similar situation here.
Oh yeah, now
Buenos
we're
Aires,
criminalizing being unhoused. So, and they'll put you to work.
yeah, they're making some great camps, which would be super. But he's basically, the comment was governing for the rich. And I feel like we've seen that someplace before. So if we're looking
Yeah.
for a blueprint, we're kind of seeing it through Trump and his association with Argentina.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
That,
it's a bit frightening because we're seeing it kind of spreading throughout the land now, throughout the world, I should say.
yeah, and it's becoming okay to some. But we'll see. We're continuing to support him. I don't know for how long, but that $40 billion as our government shut down, the chainsaw plan that was so cool when Musk was doing here.
Musk stole it from that guy. That guy did it first, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I should have known.
Right?
On a side note, Santos, who was just pardoned and released from jail, is now going to be hired by Trump's Department of Justice. He's really going to help figure things out, how things went wrong. And he's looking forward to being part of the solution. So keep your eyes and ears open for that one because that sounds like a bunch of trash, frankly.
Oh, dude, just the irony. It's amazing. And the level of trolling. Somebody probably thought and sat down and said, you know what would really piss people off? Let's not only give them a job, but let's put them in the Department of Justice.
Yeah, there is no justice.
There really isn't. There is no rule of law for these people. If you're in Trump's little bubble, you can get away with whatever you want, and that should offend the fuck out of everybody. I don't care if you're a MAGA or not. That's just offensive.
When your John Roberts did this, because even as the Supreme
Mhm.
Court is rejecting tariffs, which is going to happen, Trump's minions are working on ways to keep charging for imports. Charging for imports simply means we as consumers are paying more.
Yeah.
Whether that goes into his coffers or into his friends' pockets, let's just keep it simple. He's really, even above the Supreme Court, trying to push to keep us paying more. That's just simplified. Pasta is about to be double the cost, 100% tariff on pasta. I mean, do we hate the Italians? What's going on here?
Yeah. Who doesn't love pasta? Especially if you're living on a budget.
Super expensive, and it used to be a super cheap item, but no more.
Unbelievable.
So,
it really is. Next, it's going to be
crazy.
a ramen noodles tariff.
Well, let's you can't touch that with your sodium levels, okay?
It's true, but I'm just saying, what are they going to come after next? This is ridiculous.
I don't know. And it's not, this is the 35th day. We'll break the longest streak, which will be tomorrow. It's just not sustainable. Everybody wants to blame the Democrats for this, but I really feel that Democrats are dug in based on healthcare. They did try and send several bills to have SNAP funded that the Republicans had no interest in. They're having fun slashing programs.
Yeah, they're enjoying it. They really are. It's sickening. And
it's pretty
the Democrats need to keep pounding the message that, look, hey, you guys have the House, you've got the White House and the Senate. This is on you. This is not on us. We're sticking up for the American people and for healthcare. That's why you won't negotiate. You won't take this seriously. You don't even have a concept of a plan. And yet you're trying to blame us. And it's fucking ludicrous.
Well, Jeffries finally came out yesterday and said that they're protecting a pedophile. They're protecting pedophiles. The party of pedophile protecting, which we haven't heard that word a whole lot out of the Democrats, especially their hierarchy, but it's about time that it's been said. And it's just not sustainable, not only for SNAP. I haven't traveled recently, not in the last 35 days, but the airport situation is a mess. You have 13,000 air traffic controllers that aren't getting paid. You have 50% of the air traffic control facilities are facing shortages if they are coming to work at all. And we, due to this shutdown, they may force several airspaces over our country will be shut down completely. We've already lost $4 billion from our travel economy. And knock on wood, thank God we haven't had any major incidents. Most of them have been on the ground, wing to wing, avoiding hitting helicopters and whatnot. We also have a guy in charge who's not qualified at all. Now, if you want to see who can get up the tree the fastest, here's your lumberjack. He's great. You want to see somebody in entertainment because he's so wonderful on MTV, super. But the bottom line is this is a major department that everybody, has skin in the game for. Somebody who flies, somebody that's in the industry, somebody that's coming to you for the holidays, whatever. This is going to be something I think that will propel the government to open up because this is not sustainable and it's dangerous and reckless. I might add.
Yeah, and again, it's self-inflicted. You've got the Thanksgiving holiday weekend coming up. It's a shit show. It's a mess, and you've got an unqualified person, an essentially Trump DEI hire, running the department. And here's the thing: it takes a long time to train air traffic controllers. It's a really rigorous program. A lot of them don't make it through. And I was recently reading an article about it, and the training isn't even that good.
Great.
They don't even do a great job of training them now. And so the people that you have are like little bars of gold, the experienced people that know what they're doing and the things you're putting them through. It's already a high stress job, extremely high stress. And to go weeks without a paycheck, to work those kind of hours, because now they're working double shifts, it's an extremely precarious and dangerous situation for everybody.
Some of them are driving Uber cars as well. Just trying.
I saw that. I don't know if I believe it or not. I wouldn't be surprised because you got to have something coming in, and Trump's willing to fund the military.
Well, and they keep coming back to the stock market this, the stock market that, and they keep trying to make the point that just because and this was part of the 60 Minutes, but and he did not answer the question, but just because the stock market's doing okay, which can be kind of propped up, doesn't always affect, Joe Six-Pack, so to speak. A lot of people aren't in the market. It's not a great gauge. I will say today that there was a ton of loss through the markets. BlackRock dumped all their crypto holdings. Surprise, $300 million dump. Bitcoin dropped below $1,000 for the first time since June of 25. Our house sales will be worse since 1995. It's the only it's like we're between the airlines and the financials and people not being able to eat. It's like they're trying to push us into this extreme chaos. And that's what happens when people get desperate. You don't have work and you don't eat. You'll do some crazy stuff. Here we are.
Well, and there's already a lot of guns, a lot of gun owners in this country, and a lot of them are already angry. So this is just, I mean, if you're a sociologist, this is probably an amazing experiment and something to observe, because I don't know, I wasn't around in the 1929 to 1933 era when everything crashed. But man, these situations historically do not end well.
Well, and as you said, from a sociological point, just looking at how people are dealing with how our democracy is teetering right now. They were using California in particular, but outside of LA, very high Hispanic areas. It's really quiet. People aren't going to restaurants. People don't want to get picked up and then sent God knows where. And you're not seeing people out very much, but you go up the road a little bit into like the artsy section, and the bistros and the cafes are booming. Again, if it's not really affecting you, I'm not saying, they're not saying kind things about Trump, but they're also going about their business until it tends to, affect you. It's not really on your radar.
Yeah, until ICE shows up on your street and starts pulling people out of cars and breaking down doors and manhandling people, then it hits home. And even if it's, even if you're white and you're not one of the people being pulled out of your car, you could be, because when it can happen to these people, it can happen to you too. I mean, we're all on the list.
Yeah, if your stack of money is not so high, you're on the list. Just know it. I'm going to put this up too, because we usually jump into a little bit of our food supply. Listeria, maybe you've heard of it. We talked about this in June, I want to say. We haven't fixed the problem. Pasta frozen meals. I'm sorry?
We don't fix problems anymore.
Yeah, I think you make a very valid point there. It started in June. We talked about Trader Joe's, the fettuccine, the Alfredo, the meatballs, even smoked mozzarella. 6 people dead, 25 hospitalized, 8 in 18 states. Like, it's I get it if one guy had it in his freezer and didn't get the update and ate it, something he had bought in the past, but like, this is the first I'm hearing of it. I don't necessarily buy frozen chicken dinners, any pasta related stuff, but it's very popular food that most, a lot of people depend on. That aren't cooking fresh because they don't have the time, for one, and for two, it can be a little bit cheaper to get frozen foods. But again, do you want to be sickened by it? We used to have things in place where you had some kind of protection for the consumer, and it just seems like we're just not doing that anymore.
Yeah, no, we just don't care. This regime does not care. And once people start to get it through their heads that they don't care about you, Trump is not your hero. He does not give a damn about you, your family, your life, whatever. You bought the stupid hat, you bought the Bible, maybe even bought a Trump watch that doesn't tell time. But you know what? You need to tell the time right now, because he does not care about you.
People are pissed about that watch, by the way.
Oh, fuck yeah. But you know what? If you're dumb enough to buy anything with the Trump name stamped on it, you're buying a piece of shit.
I would agree. And I think most people aren't getting that story when they're buying this amazing watch. They just think if you flash it, people are going to think you're in the club. Now, when you ask
think you're a dope.
and you give them the wrong time, they're going to know you bought a Trump watch. So
Yeah.
that part sucks.
Oh, you got the Trump watch, did you? No wonder you're always late.
Just add 2 hours to that one. So we're going to have to wait day to day on this government shutdown. Again, I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think Trump's really participating in any of this. I think Mike Johnson's not scoring any points. I think he looks weak and ineffective every day. We talked about last week some of the tariff deals between us and Canada, us and Brazil, where Republicans are starting to step up to take those tariffs off. Trump really had no response, crickets from him on any of those things that happened. But it is chipping away at not his base, but the Republican base. I think to your point with the elections today, we'll see this wave because between Jersey, Virginia, the New York mayoral race,
California, Prop 50.
California, Prop 50. People have had enough, I think, and I really hope that we see that today.
I hope so. I just, I don't know.
Will it be reported? It depends on what source. Again, if you think Mondavi's a Marxist communist socialist, and I did overhear some people talking, some higher level professionals about why would you want a communist running, or socialist is what they kept saying. And I'm like, he's a social democrat, right? I mean,
yeah. And here's something. I don't know how you get to be a high level person in any profession if you don't know the difference between a communist and a socialist, but I saw,
Marxist.
I'm sorry.
Marxist.
Yeah. If you can't tell the difference between, those three, but especially communism and socialism. But, I saw a tweet the other day from someone who lived in Denmark that said, under socialism there, if you are disabled or old, you can get free, ergonomically friendly furniture, the aids that you need, the help that you need, because, they actually believe that, maybe your taxes are higher, but also you're not going to starve. You're not going to die in the street. You're not going to be forced to, lay in a puddle of piss in your home because you're disabled. You can't get around and you can't afford somebody. I mean, that's what socialism is. Socialism means you've got a safety net. And yeah, the wealthy pay higher taxes, but everybody benefits. I mean, I was in Canada, and this was probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe more. But I was talking to a guy that owned like a corner store in Vancouver. And, they have, it was the goods and services tax there, which they call the gouge and screw, the G&S. But he said, you know what? Listen, the streets are clean. The streets are safe. My kids go to a good public school. They're getting a good education. Do I like paying it? No. Is it worth it? Yeah. But to come out and claim that, that's communism, it's ignorant and it's absurd. And, know the difference. Look it up. And while you're at it, look at which countries are the happiest and have the best quality of lives. Spoiler alert, they're the socialist countries.
Yeah. And just to confirm, like Bernie Sanders, he's a social democrat. He's not a socialist. Yes, they want universal health care. Yes, they want universal education. All these things could make us a better nation as a whole. But oftentimes the wealthy just feel like not everybody's deserving of it. And it keeps them up on a pedestal because, they have access to these things.
Yeah, they do. And they've gotten the rest of us to buy in, to think that we don't deserve it. Oh, that universal health care. Oh, we don't need that. That's terrible. I'd rather not have any. I'd rather pay $1,000 a month for some shitty plan that's got a high deductible and barely covers anything. Because, that's America.
I think the bigger sell is that you could be the next millionaire. Oh, I don't want to do that because what if I'm that rich guy? I don't want to be having to pay this. I could be next.
Yeah. What are the odds of that?
Not great, but if there's a chance, you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
And just to update today, $730 billion were wiped out of the stock market today. So even if you're not affected by it, it does create the ripple effect because it's affecting somebody. Somebody's in these markets. And I just don't find this to be sustainable. Again, I hope we wake up tomorrow and we see that there's been some pushback against the sources that you check. Now I can't even see what CBS has to say about it because I'm not super trusting in their news department.
They've lost all
CNN,
credibility.
clearly, Fox, CNN, not happening. I mean, you're almost going to have to go to the international press or the AP Wire just to find out. I mean, now that I got to get my Pentagon news from Laura Loomer, and if I want to check in with the Department of Justice, I got to see Santos, who was convicted but just got out on a pardon. It's crazy. And just to circle back on that Bitcoin, or not on the crypto guy that Trump pardoned, Trump said he didn't even know about it. And when it was
Was
pushed
it the
back,
auto pen?
yes. Then when Caroline was asked about it, she said, "Oh, he just meant he didn't know him personally, didn't have a personal relationship with him, but he knew." And I really don't think he knows a whole lot. If you're going to be bragging about the cognitive test and you think an MRI has something to do with that, you're losing your mind, buddy. Sorry. So. Again, the sources are going to be important, but I don't think that you can lie too much if it's overwhelming. And that's kind of my hope.
Yeah,
We'll see.
eventually people figure it out, hopefully. But, I don't know. Hitler was pretty successful with his big lie theory. Just, the bigger the lie and the more you repeat it, the more people are willing to believe it. So I don't
Okay,
know.
well, we're all
But
going to have plenty of time then to do it because, all these corporations are cutting jobs left and right. People are losing their jobs.
yeah,
Groceries, though Trump said, are way down. They're not. Energy costs are not way down. Jobs are not plentiful, and these factories aren't being built. If you think he brought $20 trillion promissory to our country to build these factories and pay people, I want what you're having.
yeah, I'll take some of that.
Really nonsense, but anyway, we'll
Actually,
see.
you know what? I take that back because what he's having is dementia, so I don't want any of that. Thank you, but no, to shun, to push away.
Yeah, we're not interested in that. So I wanted to move on quickly to a happy ending, and normally it's a Penguin thing. I did blow a 3-goal lead last night. They looked amazing for 2 periods. The goaltending didn't necessarily hold up, and I guess they stopped moving their feet. But that aside, the Penguins are off to a better start than anybody expected. I wanted to point out that Sid Crosby's 38 years old. It took him 13 games to get to 9 goals this season. 13 games. Gretzky, who was arguably the best player to ever play the game, at age 38, it took him 62 games to get to 9 goals when he was 38. So we can say, Lemieux in his prime was better than, and Gretzky was this and that. But the length of time, the longevity that Crosby has done this is just like uncomprehendable, honestly.
It really is, man. Sid is the guy's a gem. And as good of a player as he is, he's an even better person off the ice. But yeah, what he's accomplished is remarkable. I mean, he's a grinder, man. When that kind of talent is combined with that kind of drive and work ethic and a will to get better every day, it's amazing, what he's accomplished. And
I mean, it took him a fifth of the time.
Yeah.
Fifth of the time. That's insane.
Well, and I really do think he's been rejuvenated with, a new coach, a lot of turnover in the locker room, a lot of young guys in there now. And I think it's been great for the big three, all 3 of them. Malkin's off to a great start. Letang, even Carlson. I mean, these guys are all kind of rejuvenated.
They haven't won a game since Brazo went out of the lineup, who was on Malkin's line. But that Ben Kendall had 2 goals last night. He has 5 goals. He's right up there with, I think all the rookies from his draft class have 6.
That kid definitely belongs.
He's been pretty impressive, super humble, and for him to be learning, from Crosby is pretty incredible. I did see, and we've all seen it before, one of those clips where Crosby was young, he was being interviewed. You know, he always had to play up. So he was 14 playing against 17-year-olds, taking kind of a beating and whatnot. But little Sid at 14, literally Sid the kid, saying, wow, you know, they asked him about always taking a beating from these guys. And he said, you know, if that's their job, right, is to do that. And if they're able to successfully do that, then I'm not doing my job. And then he turned around and said, you know, could you imagine doing something every day that you love and getting paid for it? I mean, this is a 14-year-old kid with that kind of perspective it was kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, he is definitely a remarkable and unique individual, and you know, the Penguins are extremely fortunate to have him, and you know, that's a guy that should never be taken for granted. And you know, hopefully, even after his playing days are done, he'll stay with the organization and always be a Penguin for life. You know, like Mario.
I think he will. I would agree.
I think so too. But you know, speaking of, you know, that game last night, these are great learning opportunities. This is still a very young team, and you know, it can be a challenge when you get off to a big lead and you dominate a team like that for 2 periods. There is a tendency to let up and get away from, you know, what got you in that position. So, you know, hopefully, you know, you gave away 2 points basically, but you know, maybe you pick up, you know, experience that makes it worthwhile, because you know, it's a long season. There's going to be ups and downs, but you know, I like the way they're trending.
Well, keep in mind that 2 goals were scored by Nylander, who's leading the league in points. You know, you also have Matthews. That's a really solid team. So really disappointing to blow a lead like that against a really good team. But as to your point, yeah, I think they all took the message away from it that, hey, we can't play 40 minutes and we can't depend on the goalie to make a save necessarily. Sad to say.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Pens they got in that 3rd period, they got bottled up in their end quite a bit.
All right. Well, learn from it is all I'm saying. But gosh dang it, make a save. Huh? Sometimes you need a timely save,
yeah.
Billy.
Make a save. We're gonna have to score 8 to win this one, boys.
Hey, leave Ozzy out of this, all right?
Hey, we love
God
him.
rest his soul. Love that guy. All right. Well, that's all I got. I guess I'll talk to you later. You'll tell me about the song and that I need to change it. But I'll wait to hear from you.
All right. Well, I'll just make one up if we need a new one.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe I'll
don't
just
be using AI though. I don't want any AI. Sorry. Forget it.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, you have a good rest of your day. As always, thanks for your time today. And
you too, buddy. Great job.
Music
appreciate
licensing reimagined.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good.
See ya.